Good morning, students. I hope you are doing good today. Today we will start chapter number 2, that is MS Access. Children, have you been to a doctor? When you go to the receptionist asks for your details and fill the details in a computer to store your information. Similarly, when you go to the library, in the library, the librarian is going to maintain a record of your information in the computer. So this storing of the information is nothing but the databases. We are surrounded by number of databases in our day-to-day life. Now before learning what a database is or before going further into the discussion of database, we must have a prior knowledge of what is exactly the data is. Data is nothing but the raw facts and figures that we enter in the computer. Now once these raw facts and figures are entered into the computer, they are processed and this processed data is called information. Collection of interrelated information stored in a system understandable format over a period of time is nothing but your database. In general, you can call database as collection of interrelated information in your computer. We have three types of databases. First, static, second, growing database, and the third one is dynamic database. Now let us learn each of these databases one by one. First is a static database. Static databases, once created, are rarely touched upon. Therefore, once you create these type of databases, you will not touch them for a longer period of time. That means once you create the database, hardly you will make any modification in the database. Example of the static databases is your census information database. So if you see the census information, they are created for a period of time and then they are left untouched. These databases, they are not touched upon for a longer period of time. So that is why these databases, they lose their importance after a particular time. The second database is the growing databases. These databases, they keep growing with time. Example, consider the student information in the school. In the beginning of the session, you have particular number of students. But as the session goes on, there may be some new entries or there may be some students who have taken the TC. So you are removing their names from the list. Like that, if you see, there will be constant modifications in the database. And it will keep on growing. For example, this year, let's say there are particular number of students in the school. The next coming session, there may be more new entries. So the database gradually increases. Period of time, this database will keep on increasing. That is why we name them as growing databases. The third type of database is the dynamic database. All the daily life, the real life databases which we see, they are dynamic databases. Dynamic databases, they are frequently modified and also they use operations like inserting the data, deleting the data or updating the data. For example, let us consider the database of a website. Let's say you are using any social networking website, example WhatsApp. If you consider on WhatsApp, continuously when you receive a new message, that means new data is inserted into your database. Similarly, if you do not want to keep a message, you want to delete a message, so this message will be deleted from your database as well. Operation called delete is applied on your database. And similarly, you are updating your status, you are updating your profile pictures. There you are adding on to the existing data. You are making updation in your database when you are entering the new data in the database. Therefore, children, all the real life database what we have, they come under dynamic databases. Let's take another example, the bank transactions. So if you consider the bank transactions, when you deposit the money, the data is being added into your account. So there you are inserting the data in your account. Similarly, when you withdraw the money, At the time of the withdrawal, you are taking some amount of money from your bank account. Therefore, there will be some updation in your bank. The amount present in your bank will be updated by deducting the amount which you have withdrawn. So this operations, as these operations, they are rapidly applied on these databases. That is why we call them as dynamic databases. Let's revise once again types of databases. First, static database. These databases, once created, are rarely touched upon. Example, census information database. Second is growing database. They keep on growing with time. Example, student information in a school. Third one is dynamic database. These databases are frequently modified and uses all insert, delete and update features. Example, bank transactions and website databases. Children, now to create a database, you will first have to create the structure of the database. Similarly, once the structure of the database is designed, then you will add data into your database. You may also update the database, or you may also delete some of the information from the database. Accordingly, once the database is no more needed, you may also delete the structure of the database, or you may alter the structure of the database. Altering the structure of the database is nothing but adding new rows and columns to your database. All these operations of creating the structure, performing the operations, deleting the structure or altering the structure, it is together called as database management. When you are applying all these operations to your database, that means you are managing your database. To manage the database, for the database management, we have different softwares, and these software are called database management system. Database management system is nothing but softwares that lets us manage our database effectively. These database will help you to perform all the operations like creating the structure, inserting, deleting, modifying the information, altering the structure of the database, dropping the structure of the database. All this will be done by this software called database management system. There are number of database management system softwares available in the market. Some popular ones are MySQL, Microsoft Access and Oracle. Let us see what are the different types of database management systems. Database management systems are categorized into three categories. First one is hierarchical database management system. Second one is network database management system. And third one is relational database management system. Let us study the three one by one. First one, coming to the hierarchical database management system. So if you see in hierarchical database management system, your data will be stored in the form of a tree. As you can see, you will have a parent node, that is the master node, and then to that all the sub data will be attached. The structure of the data will be in the form of a tree. Second one is network databases. Now in network databases, instead of a tree, your data will be stored in form of a graph. Here the data will be stored in form of connected graphs. The third type of DBMS software is relational database management system. In short, we'll call it as RDBMS. RDBMS stores the data in the form of tables. And we all know tables are made up of rows and columns. Children, table here is a logical entity only. It is not real table what we make. Simultaneously, when you store the data, it will go and store in the form of files only. The functions of RDBMS are: first, creation of tables. Second one is easy addition of the data. To add the data, you can directly add the data in the table, or you may make use of forms to enter the data in the table. How do we do that? We'll be learning later on in the chapter. Then there are built-in query language in RDBMS softwares. That means whenever you want to retrieve any data from the database, you can simply make a query, and using that query, the database will automatically retrieve the output for you and give the result. For example, let's say there is a book with book ID 1034 in the library, and I want to know this book is issued to which student, on which date. So what I will be doing is, in my software, I will simply enter the book ID and click on the search button. As soon as I click on the search button, automatically my RDBMS software will search from the database the book ID and the information of the student to whom this book is been issued. So entering your book ID and clicking on the search button is a query. That means you are asking the database to tell you the information of the person who has this book. The next is contains built-in report generator. So once you click on the search button, that means the query has been put to the database. Now, according to the query, the DBMS software will display the information of the person who has the book. So this information will be displayed on the screen in a form of a report. The last function is security and recovery facilities. When you store your data in RDBMS software, if at all you lose some data, or if at all by mistake your data is been missing, RDBMS software will help you to easily create a recovery of the data, because it will maintain a backup of your data. Children, these are some of the functions of RDBMS softwares. So now let us study what is MS Access and why are we studying MS Access. As you can see, MS Access is a relational database management system. It is an RDBMS software given by Microsoft, and this is present in your MS Office package. If you go and check your MS Office package, along with different applications like MS Excel, MS Word, MS PowerPoint, you will also have MS Access at the top. All the functions which an RDBMS has are directly applied on MS Access also, because MS Access is a relational database management system. It will help you to create your table, to enter the data in your table, help you to put queries to the database. It will help you to generate the reports. It will also help you for securing and recovering your data, because it already has a built-in query language in it. Before starting off by creating a table, let us learn some of the terminologies we will be using during this chapter. If you can see here, children, this is how your complete table will be looking like once it is made. In this table, you will have rows and columns, just like how you have them in MS Excel. These are the rows and these are the columns. Therefore, a table consists of rows and columns. Here, we will not call them as rows, we will call them as records or tuple. So, rows are nothing but records or tuple. Similarly, columns are termed as fields. So, we'll call the rows as records and columns as fields. If you can see here, A record is collection of number of fields. Here every field has a heading or a name. Therefore, the heading of each field or the name of each field is called field name. As you can see here, the first one is employee, first name, last name. All these are called field names. Then, the next important part of the database is a key. Key is nothing but an identifier. In every table, you can have three different types of keys. First one is primary key. Primary key is nothing but the field which is unique in the table. Let's say you have in the attendance register, if you see children, the roll number of every student is unique. It is different for all the students. No two students will have the same roll number. Plus, there will be no student in the class without a roll number. So, it is compulsory that every student has a unique roll number, plus every students do have a roll number. Therefore, by this you can derive the definition of a primary key. Primary key is a unique identifier that has no duplicate values and no null values. So, for a primary key, you cannot give any repetitive or duplicate value, or you cannot leave the primary key as blank. Every table must have a primary key to identify the table uniquely. Then second one is composite key. Composite key is the primary key which is comprised of two or more fields. In the previous example, if you see, the roll number of the student, it is unique and only roll number is considered as primary key. But let us take the example of your logins in the websites. So when you log in into any website, you enter your username and password, that is your email ID and password. Email ID and password is unique for all the users. Here if you can see, you can make your email ID and your password both as the unique keys, that is both can be made as the unique identifiers. In this case, what you can do in the table is you can put login information as the primary key, and within login information you can have two different fields, that is username and password. Here if you notice, the primary key is the login information, which is again having two different fields, that is user ID and password. So such primary keys which are comprising of two or more fields in them, they are called composite keys. Then coming to the third one, that is foreign key. Foreign key is the primary key of another table with respect to my table. For example, now I create a table called student information. So student information table will contain all the details of the student. Let us consider the details as roll number of the student, class and section, name. Let us consider second table, that is book information table, and book information table will have three fields. Let's say book ID, book name and publication. Now if you see here, in the first table, the roll number of the student will be considered as unique. Let us understand foreign key with the help of an example. Consider the library management system at your school. In library management system, we will consider two tables. One is student information table, second one is book information table. In student information table, you may have fields like admission number of the student, class and section, name. Similarly, in the book information table, you will have book ID, book name and book publisher. Now, if you connect these two tables, so what will be the unique identifier? So if you consider student table, in the student table the admission number of the student is unique. Similarly, in the book table, the book ID is unique. When you connect these two tables, you have to connect them using their primary keys. In book table, the primary key is book ID, and in student table, the primary key is the admission number. Now, with respect to student table, book ID is the foreign key of student table. With respect to book table, admission number is foreign key to the book table. The definition is primary key of another table is the foreign key to the current table. With respect to your student table, book ID is the foreign key. With respect to book table, admission number is the foreign key. These are the three different types of keys we will be using in our database. The last one is the data type. Whenever you are writing the field names, along with the field names, you should specify the data type. Data type is nothing but the type of value you are going to enter into the field. For example, if your field name is admission number, obviously in the admission number you will be entering the data in the form of numbers. For student name, you will be entering the data in the form of text. For class and section, you will be entering the data either in the form of text or in the form of number. This is nothing but the data type, the type of data which you are going to enter in the fields. There are different data types that you can choose from while creating your table in MS Access. Some of the data types are short text, long text, numbers, date and time, currency, yes or no, hyperlinks, image, lookups, auto numbers, etc. Now we will see how to create a table in the database. You will be learning to create a sample database using MS Access, and then how to save that database. After saving, how to open an existing database. Let us learn to create a database in MS Access. Click on the blank test database, and once it asks for a blank database, just enter the name of the database here and click on the create button. When you click on the create button, this is the default screen which opens. If you can look here in the screen, MS Access gives us a default table. So you can make use of this table. So simply in every table you will have two views. One is the data sheet view and the other one is the design view. In the design view of the table, you will be creating the outer structure of the table, what will be the fields of the table and so on. Whereas in the data sheet view of the table, you will enter the data and information regarding that table. Now let us see how to do that. Simply go to the view. In view, click on the design view. Click on the design view. In the design view, it asks for the name of the table. So here you can change the name of the table whatever you like and click OK. So this is how the screen is going to look like. Now on the screen, what you will do is, if you look here, this is the field name, that is name of the columns, and this is for the data type. So in the field name, if you can look here, there is a key like symbol. That means ID, this field is considered as the primary key. To set any field as the primary key, you will just click on that field name and simply click on this option of the primary key. So now let us create a sample table here. Once you are done entering all the field names, just simply click on save, and this is how your table is going to look. Now in this table you can start writing the data, start entering the data whatever you want.